Hello, how's everyone doing? It is your fallen angel back with another video. Today, we are going over the fourth dimension. Now, previously we've touched upon the fourth dimension. We've mentioned it as ether time space, quintessence, or akasha. So without further ado, let us just jump right in. The fourth dimension is what we experience when we astral project, communicate telepathically, or experience in an altered state. Now, there's many different ways to experience what we know as the astral projection, the astral portal, the altered state, communicate telepathically, whether this be clairvoyance, clairaudience. Many of these videos and topics have been covered on this channel, so feel free to check that out as well. But for the most part, fourth dimension, or ether, time space, is the thing we can't directly see through light apparatus. It is this dimension of energy that's going on around us. It also explains string theory. It also explains neutrinos. It also explains the 10th and 11th dimensions, the 12th dimensions of what we know around us that can't be seen or described, but we know it's going on. When someone breaks a limb, the limb is placed in a cast. When the cast is removed, the limb is withered, shriveled, and needs rehabilitation in order to retain its former range of movement and strength. Meditation opens a part of our mind that has been defunct in most of the population. Centuries of religious control have made most of us unaware of the fourth dimension, as spiritual knowledge has been systematically removed and suppressed. So for many people, they don't know the chakra systems. They don't know how important and crucial this spinal cord is, and this spine is directly intertwined with the brain, our spiritual powerhouse. Many people do not know about the 7 chakras aligned, or these chakras are dormant for many people on purpose, right? This is what the elite, the people that are in higher up powers want. They don't want anyone to have their chakras awakened. They don't want the serpent climbing to this top. They don't want you to be spiritually awakened. They want you to be in your lowest state, your lowest vibrational state. As humans, we can only see a small portion of electromagnetic spectrum. Insects can see ultraviolet light and more. Many animals can sense things that human cannot. Just because someone cannot see or hear something, that does not mean it doesn't exist. As with ultraviolet light, X-rays, gamma rays, and other forms of energy. So guys, as a human being, our body is naturally in the physical plane. We only see what light apparatus allows us to see for our survival, right? This does not mean that things aren't happening beyond this three-dimensional space. There's things going on in the 4D, 5D, 6D, 7D, all the way up to the 12. So we must recognize that do not take everything you see as the final sanctum. There is something beyond, most definitely, that you must in tune yourself with. The auric field around your body, it can't be seen, but guess what? People can feel it, right? This is why when people go on long spurts of semen retention, you can feel this energy, but you can't necessarily see it or describe it, but you can feel it because this auric field that you give off is very immense and powerful. Hearing voices and seeing things that most people cannot are the most common manifestations of opening up one's mind. This will eventually come under control. So many of the dreams you have end up being synchronicities within your own life. You have to recognize how important the dream state is. This is when your physical body allows your astral body to project into different dimensions, to project into different parts of the subconscious psyche. You have to recognize that your brain is an immense amount of electromagnetic power. Therefore, it has variability. It's going to do different things based on the subconscious, based on what you know in your hippocampus, and try to lead you to do different things within the astral world. You can enter the astral plane without fully sleeping. So when you're in this theta state, when you're fully sleeping in your deep REM sleep, Oftentimes you barely remember these dreams, or if you do remember them, it would just be a small fragment, and then you would just be like, what happened? I want to go back into this. Because this astral projection that happens is something that happens whether you're in an alpha state of brainwaves or if you're in a theta state of brainwaves. Either way, the brain must be completely relaxed, right? Because these predetermined discriminations and these predetermined ways of thinking are hindering your way to enter the astral portal. You think that this doesn't exist, and you thinking that something like that is incapable, right? Is all hindering your progress to escape from the human body, right? This is what astral projection truly is your soul escaping from this physical plane. Now, it's essential to understand how potent and how amazing the fourth dimension is all around us. With performing power meditations for given any length of time, they should be done daily, one will experience the opening of one's mind and soul. Now, guys, this is the ultimate test, the ultimate reason we are all here is for spiritual liberation. It's not to say, I survived until 120, this is my checklist, I made it this far. It's not about how long you live. It's about what you do while you're here, the purpose you have, the influence you have on others, your spiritual liberation on yourself. This is what we know as moksha. This is what you need to attain to. Whether this is we're hearing this in the Hindu faiths, whether we're hearing this in the Jewish faiths with the Kabbalah, it's ultimately receiving your inner peace within your soul, right? To end this cycle of reincarnation, this cycle of karma that you keep experiencing, the people you see, the experiences you have, the traumas you see, the things of that nature, for it all to suffice and for it all to be a reason as to why it was, is to understand the inner body, the inner self. Science has not progressed far enough to explain the fourth dimension. Now, some scientists know exactly what ether is, quintessence is, akasha is, but for a reason it's not being portrayed out to the full globe that it should be, to a global scale. It's still very, very dormant in many, many universities, right? They're not explaining this to full capacities as they should. Religion has attacked science vehemently, especially the Abrahamic religions, as there is a point where the spiritual and scientific both meet. One will always lead to the other if allowed to advance unhindered. When we interact on the astral, our spirits are also focused there when they come to us. Guys, the astral plane is a very important, very spiritual, very godlike ether time space that you can enter, right? This ether time space is the same thing that is being projected when you have a child. The child comes from ether, right? When a snake goes into a dark hole and comes back, it's like a rebirth. That's the same thing when copulation happens. This baby comes from ether and then it comes to the womb. This is why they call women the spiritual gateway, because they are, in essence, the spiritual gateway. So it's essential to understand how amazing, astronomical this fourth dimension truly is. Ether, akasha, quintessence, whichever we want to call it. There is a barrier or a gauntlet that shields the worlds from one another. Deceased souls who are still on the astral can hear and see us in the living world, but those who are not open cannot hear or see them. Consistent meditation breaks down that barrier. So yes, you can interact with deceased souls. You can interact with many deceased souls, not just the ones that you know, but any that you choose to call upon. You can call upon them, because as above there is a below. For the heavens there is a hell. For the middle there's a Midgard. We must recognize that these are all in cohesion. You can see things, not necessarily see it through your light apparatus in the physical plane, but see them through your brain's immanent brain power and its electromagnetic wave force. With that being said, guys, this has been a short video going over the fourth dimension. There's plenty of videos on this channel touching ether, quintessence, akasha, and how it interacts with human life and all life around us. Feel free to like and subscribe, leave a comment down below. Check us out on Patreon, Rumble, Twitter, Instagram, things of that nature. This has been your fallen angel, and I am out.